you can move forward gracefully and understand that everybody's not going to understand your gift. Everybody's not going to understand it. And some people will make you out to be the problem because you have them figured out. God wants to fully bless you, but there's a person that's in your life that God knows does not deserve it and that he knows you're going to share it with. So God wants you to remove them because they do not deserve that access of that blessing that God is trying to bless you with. Just because you are no longer a main factor in my life, or if we're no longer friends, or we're no longer boyfriend and girlfriend, does not mean I hate you, does not mean I dislike you, does not mean there's beef. Sometimes you were just meant for a season. God gave me the discernment spirit to remove you, and it was just that. And it may be vice versa. I'm not going to sit here preaching like it's just me removing people. There has been people that have removed me out of their life, and that's totally fine. When the room starts feeling like you're suffocating in it because you are changing for the good, you need to leave that room because that room serves you no purpose anymore. You're dying in that environment. The old you that you used to be, that these people know you as, has died in that room. The influence is all around you, and you're trying to move ahead and get to this higher stature. And it's not even that I feel like I'm better than you. I want better for me. I want the best for you too. You should want to come up here with me. But some people cannot reach. Some people can't go up that ladder because they don't want to go up that ladder. Some people don't want to go up that ladder because they're scared. Some people don't want to go off that ladder because they have demonic demons on them, attached to them. They got so much issues that they scared to even go up that ladder.
Soften up the mess, drop it in the water, let the daughter find her image with the rest. She'll be learning how to breathe, spinning through identity, reveal another pretty little scheme. Save her mind.
Hey girl, welcome back to Imma Say It Anyways, where we talk about the things that you may be scared to talk about. Girl, it's been a week since y'all seen me. We didn't get a last week episode because I had some technical difficulties going on. My camera broke. And when I tell you the enemy has been busy, he has been busy. He's been really trying to take me off my throne. He's been trying to take me off my pedestal because, honey, I literally was doing so good. I literally was like, okay, new segment. I filmed Ask Me Anyways. If you haven't watched Ask Me Anyways, go check out Ask Me Anyways. I did a whole cute little episode about that. And also don't forget to inquire on how to be on here. You don't have to show your face. There's nothing like that involved. All you have to do is literally email me or DM me questions that you want to be featured on the podcast. Go do that, okay? Any type of contact information, I'll have that in the description box, because Ask Me Anyways is literally more of a personal segment for the viewers, okay? But back to what I was saying, I literally lost my camera, like not lost it, but my camera SD card reader was not working, and thank God it's nothing too detrimental. But right now I'm filming off of a different type of camera. I don't know if it's a quality difference. It really is, but hopefully you guys do not mind, because I feel like the camera I picked for this podcast still does justice. So let me know, okay? But that really kind of took me back and set me back from where I needed to be, okay? But now that we got this camera, I'm cool, and we finna get right back into it. And today's episode is going to be a real good one because I feel like it relates to me so well and others, and I feel like when I express this, I find my people that understand me, and not everyone is going to understand this podcast or get where I'm coming from, because not everyone is gifted with this gift, I should say. But you can be, but I feel like I was born into this gift, and, yeah, we'll talk more about that, okay? I'm so excited to talk about it that I'm over here getting ahead of myself. But, throughout this whole, I'll say, week or two, I've been getting into new healthy habits, okay? And I told you I've been working on the rebrand of myself. I literally call this new chapter the rebrand. Like, everything is new. Everything is literally something that I'm trying to learn out of myself. I'm learning more about myself every day, and what I like, what I don't like, what I won't tolerate, what I will tolerate, all those type of things. And as a woman entering 25, I'm 25, fresh 25 years old. I'm learning that I love doing the things that I really didn't necessarily want to do when I was younger. And not only that, I'm pampering and loving and nurturing myself. Like I am taking care of me. And that's one thing I'm learning. And as I grow, I'm learning to take care of me. Sometimes I get so sunken into motherhood. Last episode, go watch it if you guys haven't watched last episode. We talked about motherhood and how you can get sucked into motherhood and not really understand where you fall into the world, and you forget about yourself, you neglect yourself. And now that I'm really taking care of myself and nurturing me, I realize how much of an impact I have did on myself, how much of an impact I allowed myself to be able to do the things that I wouldn't have done when I was in that sunken place. So yeah, I've been creating new healthy habits. I even have a Korean skincare routine. I literally have a skincare routine. Like I have been doing my cleansing, I have been doing my regimen, I have been doing a whole Korean skincare. Like my skin has been glowing. Can you tell? Can you tell? My skin has been glowing, like straight up glowing. And if I can suggest any skincare products, would be definitely Korean skincare to the T. Okay. But yeah, I've been treating myself better. I've been treating myself out to things, doing more things, going out to eat, cherishing going out shopping. I went on a little shopping spree about a couple weeks ago. Hallelujah. I needed it. Okay. As a mom, we be wearing that same old bra. Girl, put that tired bra down and go buy you another bra. Okay. And bras ain't cheap, but get you a good new little cute little bra. And underwear really is never a problem. I think it's more so just the bras. Like, go get you a new bra. You deserve a new bra. Okay. But yeah, this new rebrand chapter, I have really just been pampering and nurturing me, because it was a point of time where I was so stuck in motherhood. And of course, I'm going to always be a mom, but sometimes you get so sucked into motherhood, you forget about yourself. And I'm so glad and I'm so thankful that I'm able to be able to pour into myself again. And I feel like I seen a post like when you hit 25, your frontal lobe starts developing. And I think that's so true, because there's certain things that I can't get with anymore. I can't do anymore. I can't move anymore. I can't talk like this anymore. I can't hang with y'all anymore. I can't do, it's just certain things that I just cannot do anymore, because I'm just coming to the conclusion of who I am as a woman. Okay. Um, but yeah, that's what I've been doing these past couple weeks, and I really am in a happy place. Um, but I will share something with y'all. I'm in a happy place, but I'm in a kind of sad place when it comes to my living area. And I wouldn't say my living situation. I would think more so the state I'm living in. I've really been thinking about moving out of the state like that I'm in. I'm not happy here. I've been here almost my whole life. We lived in the Midwest pretty much all my life, but the state I'm not happy in. I'm not happy in Indiana. Indiana is not for me. And if anybody knows like where I'm from, is just I'm cool. I'm just cool. So I am looking for a new turn, and I've been asking God to point me in the direction of where I want to go as far as living in a different brand new environment that's going to be good, not for only me, but for my kids as well. Because when you have kids, I feel like you have to be more strategic of where you're moving to and where you're going, because you can't just pop up in nobody. You gonna try to do your research and not do your research enough and land in somebody's hood thinking that you finna go somewhere nice, and I don't want that. Okay, that's not what I'm trying to do. Okay, but if y'all know any places that are really good, out of the Midwest, I'm trying to get out of the Midwest. Let me know. And like the cities, not just states, but the cities specifically, and where. Okay, even if you have to DM me and stuff like that, DM me. I don't care. I just been looking for a fresh new start, and a part of this rebrand, I'm really big on the fresh new start and starting over, because I'm learning that everyone's approval is not going to be main priority. Like I really don't care anymore. I really don't. Like, I stopped caring such a long time ago where it's like, this is my life. This is what I want to do. And sometimes you forget, like, especially me being young, I be forgetting, girl, you are an adult. You can do whatever you want to do. You don't have to satisfy nobody. You don't have to move on nobody terms. You don't have to move when for approval. You don't have to do none of that, because at the end of the day, you are the grown woman that you are, and you have kids on top of that. You're not only just a grown woman, you have kids on top of that. So once I started realizing, like, girl, what is you doing? You's a grown woman. I'm like moving so much different and so much freely because it's my life. It's literally my life. The only difference I would say about my life, it's cameras in front of it, and not every segment is filmed of my life, but a good majority is on camera. So I think that's where like the downplay goes, where I'm just like, okay, I don't want them to feel this way about this. But at the end of the day, it's my life, it's my journey. It's not about everyone's approval. Okay. So yeah, that's all I had to talk about what's been going on, where my mind has been, and just, branching off into new journeys of my life. But as far as this podcast goes, today's topic is overthinking saved me. And this is a good one because it gets classified as overthinking, but it's much bigger than overthinking. And I feel like everyone needs to hear this, even if you are not gifted with this gift, or if you don't have it, or you're struggling with it, whatever it may look like for you. I feel like you still should listen, okay? Because some people may have a friend, may have a family member that has this gift, and sometimes they label these people as problematic people, when all reality, we are just people that could just see through a lot, okay? So in this segment, we're going to be talking about being right about situations, how it saved me from trauma. Sometimes I listen and sometimes I don't, okay? And why we do that. What is overthinking, and how it cost me relationships. And this plays a good role of just everyday life, because I feel like as a overthinker, at least I had been labeled as an overthinker. I feel like I've always been 98.99% right about a situation. Like, it doesn't even matter what the situation is, I've always been pretty much right. And sometimes I don't even have to have evidence, like valid, concrete evidence. God gave me something to know that I was right. And not even that I was right, but He gave me that discernment spirit to understand what is really going on. Okay. But before we get into today's segment, let's give it up for the word of the day. Okay, y'all. So now that we got into the word of the day, let's talk about my gift. The gift is not overthinking, it is actually a discernment spirit. And when you realized, when you start to realize what that means, you understand life a little bit differently. I finally got it classified under that, because the closer I get to God, the more knowledge I'm learning about just things that make more sense. For instance, I thought it was overthinking, but the closer I got to God and people that enter my life and to tell me about what these things are, they let me know that that is a discernment spirit. So, with that being said, I did research on it and I understood that what I thought was overthinking is actually a discernment spirit. Um, so the definition from just doing research is God, it's a God-given ability to distinguish good from evil, avoid deception, make wise and righteous decisions. So that is the overall definition of having a discernment spirit. You're able to pick apart things that the most average person wouldn't pick apart. You're able to see right through people. You're able to catch on to energies, tones, body language. Like, I read people down to the T. And honestly, it's somebody made a post. I remember somebody made a post like, it's a blessing and a curse. And I would never say it's a curse. I will always say it's a blessing, because it will save you from a lot. It will save you from a lot. It's never a curse. It sucks because, yes, maybe I actually valued you as, this higher standard, but I saw right through you, and you have devalued yourself in my world, in my life, because what I see you for and what I've noticed and what that discernment spirit gave me. So that's where the kind of like problematic comes in with on your end, but it's never a curse. And I want people to remember that, because I had a lot of people sharing that post, and I'm just like, no, it's not a curse. I feel like it's more so it's it has its pros and its cons. Okay. I don't feel like it's a curse. But at a very young age, I knew I was gifted with this, because not even just understanding people, I had the gift of being able to see things. Like, I truly have visions. Moral of the story, I have visions and I have dreams. And that goes deeper into the discernment spirit. Some people can only just read people, but not only could I read people, I could actually have a vision about something in the future that may happen. And sometimes you have to be able to pick apart who's giving you these visions, because the good is not only just giving you visions and stuff like that. Evil, the enemy, can give you visions because he knows you have a discernment spirit. So you have to be careful. You also, I have to ask God who is sending me this message, because not everything is sent for good. Um, I had the gift to understand and read people. It was almost like a feeling, and it's almost like a vision. So, like I said, the feeling would be like you can be talking to me, telling me something, and I can just get this feeling or sense something isn't right, and God would lay it on my heart what exactly it is. And you would think you played it off very well, but I read right through that and I seen it for what it is. My gift of discernment showed me truth and clarity, which is a must, because some people who don't have a discernment spirit will live in a cycle of trauma, a cycle of reputation, a cycle of repetitive toxic behaviors, a cycle of abuse, a cycle of just a lot of bad things. And it can continue the cycle if you do not have a strong discernment spirit, especially a strong relationship with God. You can drift off into a whole different place. But it definitely gave me clarity on a lot of situations, because being able to really understand what is really going on and what God really wants me to see has showed me clarity that I needed out of situations. There was times where there may have been a man in my life where I just feel like I had my discernment spirit. God kept showing me over and over and over. And I kept thinking I was overthinking, but my overthinking would get pushed to the side. I'm just like, you know what? I'm overthinking. I'm overthinking. I just like didn't want to listen. And unfortunately, sometimes when you don't listen to your discernment spirit, it will cost you, because it's literally trying to tell you something. For instance, I had someone out of quite a few people, not even going to say someone, but there has been quite a few people that have told me stories or something that happened that pertained to me. And as they're talking, you can tell me one thing, but God has gave me the discernment spirit to understand what really happened. For instance, there will be times where someone is telling me about a situation that occurred that pertains to me. And the whole entire concept would be them trying to get out of a lie or get out of whatever the case may be. And God will literally give me the vision of what really happened as they're talking. And that sounds really crazy to the average person, but God will literally show me exactly what really happened and what was said, and how the tone and the demeanor it came off as. And to the average person, it sounds crazy. Yeah, real crazy. But I learned that that's okay. That's okay. It's okay for people not to understand your gift. It's okay for people to think you're crazy, because 9 times out of 10, they know that you're right. And they're going to label it as crazy, or you're overthinking, or you're problematic, because it's their demons fighting against you to think that you're crazy, because you have them figured out. And when demons know that you have them figured out, they tend to manipulate you. I had to really learn that in the long run. But once you have it figured out of, I know what this is now. You can move forward gracefully and understand that everybody's not going to understand your gift. Everybody's not going to understand it. And some people will make you out to be the problem because you have them figured out. And, a lot of people, the best way to, manipulate you is, oh, you're overthinking. You're thinking too hard on it. You're tripping. That's not what it is. And that's the quickest way to manipulate you into thinking that you're overthinking. It's great to hear that you're overthinking because it soothes your spirit in all reality. It's great to hear, oh, I'm overthinking a situation than to know this is what it really is. It's pleasant on the ears, isn't it? It's pleasant on your spirit to understand that, okay, maybe I am overthinking. It's not that big of a deal. But the whole time, your discernment spirit is telling you, no, ma'am, that's actually not accurate. This is actually what it is. You were right all along. And sometimes it can cost us if we do not listen to our discernment spirit. You will literally be cost trauma. You will literally be cost cycles. And it will be a lot of just back and forth of the same thing. And until you get it right, until you actually put your foot down and understand what's really going on. So when you ever get into a place where you have to question if you're overthinking, you need to give it to God for sure. You need to ask God for clarity. You need to either, even if you have to go on a fast for clarity of a situation, because sometimes the enemy attack is so strong. You need to go on a fast. Okay, sometimes just talking to God ain't gonna do enough. Nah, you need to get in tune, because the enemy is going to try to distract you, and he's going to throw out things that's going to soothe your spirit to get away from the truth. Okay, now this one gonna ruffle some feathers. Okay, some people hate your gift. Some people love you as a person. They love everything that you do. They love everything about you. But they hate when you call them out on things that your discernment spirit gave you. And those people that are like that have demonic spirits attached to them. And once again, to the average person, this may sound wild, crazy, but to reality of it all, if a person cannot hold within judgment of things that, not even judgment, but if a person cannot withhold criticism or your emotions or your feelings towards something, or the truth, if we want to be honest, they're fighting against demons. They're fighting against things that truly are just above them. They have certain issues that they cannot even begin to understand why you're calling them out on, why you're calling them out on stuff. And I learned that people like that I can't resonate with. I can't resonate with people that always feel like they have no wrongdoing, because people that like that are truly, there's some sprinkle of, something going on in your life where you feel like you have no wrongdoing. And if I can't call you out for what it is, then you have now devalued yourself in my life, and I have to move gracefully. And people will literally get mad at you for figuring them out and calling them out on things that your discernment spirit gave you. And sometimes you have to call people out for the things, especially when it's pertaining to you and your mental health and relationships, because in all honesty, I don't feel like you should be anywhere near people that hold this heavy title of not being wrong. So when you start reading their demons and reading them, they just don't like that. They will literally label you as problematic. She always got an issue with this. She always got an issue with that. No, I literally see through all of this. Like, unfortunately, that is the rough reality of it all, that people will always think you're problematic with a discernment spirit, and they hate being called out. And people like that can never get near me, and I try to keep my distance from people like that. Okay? Also understand that keeping people like this around will cost you your peace. Your peace is ultimately disturbed from people that cannot hold themselves accountable. And not to say that we are always right. Sometimes, like I expressed, you have to ask God of if I'm, overthinking, or am I really just Or is this really what it just is, you know? And he'll give you that clarity. And then he will allow people to reveal themselves. And that is where a lot of my tactics come in. One thing I've learned is how I handle my gift. I don't just go off first instinct. I allow a person to play out their character as long as I can so I can have them fully figured out. And girl, I got this so bad. I would literally allow a person to play their character. I will allow you to play your character because I want to master you. And once I have you mastered, I realized who you are and how you move, then I gracefully cut you off. Because one thing about me, I am a forgiving person, but before I truly forgive you, I want to figure you out. And I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, but I will let a person just play their role. I'll let a person talk. I'll let a person, show me who they are. And then if I feel like, you know what, this is where I draw the line, that's where I draw the line. And I'm done with you because I feel like people think, at least with me, I think people think I just cut them off for little minor inconveniences. And it's never the case. And I want everyone to know that, okay? It's never the case where I just wash my hands with a person after one minor inconvenience. When I wash my hands with anybody, whether it's a relationship, friendships, family, it's going to always be something that I consistently saw a pattern in. If I ever wash my hands with a person, whether it's family, friendships, relationships, it's always because I saw a pattern in something and I saw things and I tallied it up and I realized that this is just your character. And in between those tallies, I did bring up these type of situations because one thing I will say, we can't just build a case. One thing I will say, do not build a case and not intervene, because then you could have solved a problem from the get-go. Always, and I suggest this, always bring it up. Always bring it up. Always bring something up in between. Allow time to pass if you have to be able to bring it up if that is what's needed. But if you feel like you have a hard time with understanding a person and their ways and what they're doing, intervene. Like, hey, I did not like this. I don't like how you spoke to me like this. I don't like how you did this or said this, however. And then allow whatever happens. If you want to continue with that, continue. And then if it keeps repeating to other things or similar situations or similar scenarios, it's up to you to detach or keep going. And one thing about me, I will literally keep going and then, hey, intervene again. Like, hey, I don't like that. And then it gets to a point where I draw the line. Okay, I done gave you like 3 strikes, and you still not catching on. That's when I wash my hands with people. And people don't understand that. And people think it's small, minor inconveniences. No, it may have been small and minor for that last one, but I washed my hands because it's like, it's too much. It's too much. So I just wash my hands with people that I can no longer give them constructive criticism to. I can no longer understand why you move this way. And it's just, I cannot tolerate it. And unfortunately, when you have a discernment spirit, you see right through people. You see exactly why they were in your life, the role that they play in your life, and what God put them in your life for. And then once you realize what they was placed in your life for, you stop worrying, you stop stressing about these people. You carry on because life goes on. And people hate to hear that. People think that's just the most wickedest thing to say. In my opinion, I feel like God is not going to allow people to enter your life for no reason. Everything is spiritual to me. Some people are in your life for a season. Some people are in your life for the long run. Some people are in your life for a lesson. Some character development. I'm a firm believer of sometimes men are in your life for character development. And baby, I did that for 2 years. Certain friendships come into your life to understand how to move with people, what not to say, what to do, who to stay away from. Family members do certain things to allow you to understand how to overcome certain things. Like, everybody plays a role in a spiritual life Everybody plays a spiritual role in your life. And once you master understanding that, you realize that if they was to walk away today, it will be okay by the next minute. Okay, it will be okay. Not no tomorrow. It's gonna be okay by the next minute, because at the end of the day, people come into your life for a reason. And I'm a firm believer that if God wants you to cross paths with somebody, he will allow y'all to cross paths. There's so many people that I've cut off that I haven't even crossed paths with since then, and I could have. And because we haven't crossed those paths, I know that God just genuinely just removed them for a reason. And some people don't understand that just because we are not in the same atmosphere, just because we are not in the same rooms, just because we are no longer this whatever we were, friendship, relationship, close as we were anymore, they feel like it's just static, it's beef. No, just because you are no longer a main factor in my life, or if we're no longer friends, or we're no longer boyfriend and girlfriend, does not mean I hate you, does not mean I dislike you, does not mean there's beef. Sometimes you were just meant for a season. God gave me the discernment spirit to remove you, and it was just that. And it may be vice versa. I'm not going to sit here preaching like it's just me removing people. There has been people that have removed me out of their life, and that's totally fine. I played a role in your life that I had to do, and you had to go on. And once you realize that you may be a villain in somebody's story, you be like, okay, it is what it is. Everybody's going to have their opinion about you. Not everybody's going to have a great story about you, and that's totally fine. But if I caused anybody stress, emotional distress, or I just didn't play a importance of their life and I needed to be removed, remove me gracefully. Because at the end of the day, I had a friend. This was some years ago. I had a friend who removed me because I was dealing with a certain man that she knew was no good for me. And I used to kind of like get mad at her. Like, why would you not want to be friends with me because who I'm dating? And God literally put me in the similar situation, roles reversed. And I'm like, yeah, I understand now. And I can understand that friend. And this was like years ago. And God showed me now, like years later. And it's like, what? Like, I get it now. Sometimes you have to experience certain things to understand it. And I don't fault her. I feel like that's a whole nother story, but I feel like I can't even fault her, because sometimes we have to remove people out of our lives because they just simply, they serve their purpose. They serve their purpose. That's all I can say. They serve their purpose in your life, and you got to go. You got to move ahead. You're going to meet new people. You're, especially when you're young, you're definitely going to meet new people. You're going to, experience different people, different things, and it's okay to move on. I know I kind of got a little sidetracked, y'all. I know, but this podcast, we're going to be all over the place as long as we stick to the main mission of what we're talking about. But yeah, it would definitely cost you people. And when you have a discernment spirit, you understand what you want out of life and who you want in your life. You will understand that it's okay for people to move on. It's okay for people to remove you. It's okay for you to be the remover, whatever. You just have to understand that your discernment spirit is going to always speak to you. You just need the clarity from God to understand if it's from good or if it's from evil. And to lead on, there was times where I did not listen to my overthinking or my discernment spirit, and it cost me. Oh my goodness, it cost me, especially when I was in a toxic relationship. Like, God kept telling me, girl, you need to leave this man alone. You need to leave this man alone. And God will tell you in different ways and from different people. Okay. And I'm a private person. I'm very private when it comes to my relationship, especially my love life, because you just never know. But when you got people telling you, that don't even really intervene and telling you need to leave somebody alone, you may need to leave that person alone. And God, literally, there was a time, and this is in all seriousness, when I was dealing with this very toxic man. And I guess the people, and oh my goodness, this is not even funny, but I guess the people that, around me wasn't doing enough. My God literally gave me a dream. And I call them dreams, but I know it was real. It was definitely real. But God literally, I had a dream one night, and my brother who long passed, um he was talking to me in a dream, and he was literally saying, like, Tati, you need, literally, Tati, you need to leave him alone. God is not going to fully bless you until you leave him alone. And I remember telling my mama this probably like a couple months ago. And when I even saying this, give me chills, because it's like, it's so true. Like, God not only just gives me the discernment spirit, he gives me dreams and visions. And that dream woke me up. Now, did I listen? No, I didn't listen. I listened maybe almost months after the fact, but it kept resonating to me, that dream that I had. Like, see, God not gonna fully bless you. Like, God gonna bless you. He gonna give you something, but he's not gonna fully bless you because this person that you allowed into your life doesn't deserve those blessings. And this is getting off track, but I do want to say this because I feel like somebody needs to hear this. Sometimes God wants to fully bless you, but there's a person that's in your life that God knows does not deserve it, and that he knows you're going to share it with. So God wants you to remove them because they do not deserve that access of that blessing that God is trying to bless you with. But because you keep holding on to this person that is no good for you, that deserves none of that blessing that God is trying to give you, God can't fully bless you. You will keep getting disappointment after disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. And that prayer that you want to God to answer, he won't answer. You to asking God, well, God, why you not answering this prayer for me? Why you not doing this for me? I've been praying, I've been doing everything right, but you haven't done the one big thing that God wants you to do, and that's remove this person. And I know somebody needs to hear this because I needed to hear this a long time ago. When I was dealing with a toxic man, I literally lost it all. I don't even think this is so off track, but it's not. It is, but it's not. Because I was dealing with a toxic man for so long that I literally lost it all. I literally lost it all because I didn't want to listen. I lost it all. And not a lot of people know this. And when I left him alone, my skin started glowing. I started receiving blessings. And then I went back. Skin got dull, bags under my eyes. God took, I wouldn't say God, but God allowed the enemy to take things away from me. And I'm just like, what's going on? Then I left him alone again. Started glowing, getting happier, going out, dressing up. Got back with him. Got sad, And then that's when you have to realize, when you remove people and you start to see good and you start glowing, girl, that is God telling you, good job, keep going. Don't you go back to nothing that broke you, that made you look like hell on earth. Like, don't do that. And that's where I'm at in life. Like, I'm so disgusted in the things that I allowed a person to take me through. I'm so disgusted in, like, back then, you would have told me to leave that man alone. I would be like, okay, yeah, I'm done with him. I'm done with him. I'm never getting back with him. And then there'll be a thought in my mind that I still want this man. Now you tell me to give it that man back. Don't give it. Girl, you ain't got to tell me twice. I'm glowing. I'm eating better. I'm getting fit. I'm looking better. God been blessing me left to right. You ain't got to worry about it. I've been dating other men. Like, I just don't want to be in that same environment with that man anymore. And I'm so glad I did that, because it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And you can visibly see it. Like, I'm talking for, like, right now, you can visibly see it. So sometimes when you don't listen to your discernment spirit, it will cost you. And it cost me my mental health. It cost me my looks, my appearance. It cost me finances. It cost me a lot. So sometimes you have to listen, because there was a time where God was not trying to fully bless me how he wanted to, because I kept holding on to a toxic man. And when I kept holding on to that toxic man, I realized I was putting that toxic man over God. Because when you don't listen to God, you're putting whatever that is over him. And whatever that is, you actually are glorifying them over God. And then I had to realize, Tati, you're glorifying this man over God. You need to figure something out, girl, because you can't keep glorifying this man over God, because he ain't going to truly bless you. And really, he might even ignore you. Them prayers might get ignored. So you need to figure it out. So once I realized, like, this man has served no purpose really in my life, has defeated me, made me feel so defeated. I realized that you are no longer who I want in my life. You have served no purpose. You may gave me some character development of what not to do in my next relationship, but other than that, baby, I wash my hands with you, and I can stand 10 toes on that now. Back then, when you would have told me that, I would have had that little thought in my mind. Nah, we could probably make it work. Girl, now who making it work? I promise you, it's always a better man. It's always a better man. I can't express this enough. It's always going to be a better man, because if that man is treating you like nothing and he's treating you poorly, I promise you, it's always a better man. And I'm so glad I have really overcome that stage of my life. That's why I call this new chapter the rebrand, because I'm rebranding myself into who I truly was meant to be. God is placing me in positions where I truly needed to be because I let that go. Okay? But don't let it cost you, because it cost me 2 years of my life, and I don't want it to be. Some people, it cost them longer. Some people, it's still costing them, and they're old and gray. And I thank God that I was able to catch it when I caught it, instead of catching it when I'm in my a senior, what am I saying? I'm so glad I didn't catch it when I was a senior citizen, because there's people that still don't understand, still not catching the hint. And you got to understand, who are you really choosing? Are you choosing God first, or are you choosing whatever God is trying to get you to remove? Because ultimately, you're idolizing what you don't want to remove because you're not listening to God. Okay? Being in that relationship, back in that relationship, I realized that I was being manipulated. Only was I being manipulated in that relationship, but also like friendships, family, they would literally make you feel like you're overthinking, like you're just being a problematic person. You just do too much. I've always felt like I was the black sheep of the family, one of the black sheep of the family. Let's just say it like that. And what I will say is, there's times where I felt like I was just being manipulated into thinking that I was just being problematic. Like I had no reason to be angry. I had no reason to feel a way about certain situations, or I had no reason to feel that way about them. And that kind of made me feel like I was an overthinker. And sometimes I have to really stop claiming that I'm an overthinker, because I don't think I'm an overthinker. I know that I have a discernment spirit, and that God is trying to tell me something, and I need to listen. But it felt better on me to be wrong and to claim that I'm overthinking, because it's good to hear, oh yeah, I'm just overthinking. Let me chill out. It's good to hear. It's good to your spirit. Like I said earlier, it's good to feel like you're overthinking rather than being right about a situation. And now you have to let this person go, because it's potentially going to be an effect on you if you do not. The enemy hates your gift. You need to protect it. Even though I'm sharing my gift with y'all and stuff like that, I know it gets deeper with my gift, but I know that God is using me and God is protecting me. That's why I'm able to share it with y'all. But if you have a gift, protect it. Don't go out broadcasting it. Do not go out broadcasting it. You don't tell everybody that, because some people have demons, and they will literally try to find ways to manipulate you, because now you have told them your gift. Now you have told them, now they know how to move, and they try to move with you. Now, of course, when you have a discernment spirit, you can read through all of that. Girl, who you fooling? But they will try to move differently, and it becomes harder for you to kind of figure them out. That's why you have to get closer with God, so you can understand people like that as well. When you do overshare and broadcast information like that, protect your gift. The devil does not want you to figure him out. Okay. And when you figure out him out, then he has attacks for you. So you have to understand that sometimes the enemy will send people your way. He'll send people your way to manipulate your mind, to think that you're just this overthinker. You're this person that's problematic. You're this person that always has an issue with something. You're this person that looks for problems, and you really don't. It's just you're surrounded by a full amount of people that just got issues, and they don't want to solve it, and they don't want to, hear it. And they'll use their words, because words are very powerful. So you have to understand, when words are very powerful, it's easier to manipulate your mind. Okay. And you got to just ask God to just give you that clarity and understand what to do in situations like that. You have to seek God for alignment. You have to ask him to protect you, and to let you never to stir away from him. And when you seek God for alignment and allow him to order your footsteps, allow him to let you hear clearly, you're able to move gracefully, and you're able to move to understand and you're able to understand both ends, that sometimes you're not always right, that sometimes you are actually wrong, and that you needed to figure this now you need to figure out this situation and how to handle it. And he'll show you how to handle it. You just have to have that alignment with God, because in our reality, we're not always right. Sometimes we can be misled by the enemy. Sometimes, here's another one. Sometimes what we thought was no good, actually the enemy played on your intelligence, because he knows you have this discernment spirit and you're so strong in your faith that you know that you are probably right about this situation. But the devil played tricks in your mind, and he'll be like, oh, I know she's going to be easily influenced to understand that what she think is right about this situation is actually wrong. It's a tricky situation. So the devil will use your gift against you, and he will make you think that these people are no good for you, but in reality they are trying to help you. Same for instance, like, perfect example, the people that were telling me to get away from the man that was toxic in my life. He would play tricks on me, knowing that I have this discernment spirit. He would use them to do things to me and say things. And even though they were right about me leaving him, he would have them do things that made me not like them in other areas. So now I built up this not liking them, and it plays a role with, like, okay, whatever they say, I can't even trust them because I don't like what they did when they did this, whatever, in this area. So he will use them to do things. And that may sound very confusing, but the ones that get it, get it. And then I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to hear nothing from you. You did so and so. I don't want to hear you telling me I need to leave this man. So obviously, he'll use your gift against you. So you have to make sure that anything that you feel a way about, you seek God first, especially before you react, because sometimes you can react too soon. But I'm a person where I will sit down and I will literally think about it first, because there was a point in time in my life where I used to explode like this, because I always felt like it was everything that was sent was a distraction or somebody trying to attack me. And sometimes it's not always the case. Sometimes it's somebody like genuinely just trying to help you. Or sometimes somebody is attacking you, but you don't need to handle it that way. And for the longest, I used to just, baby, the way I was taught to react, and I ain't even gonna say I was taught, the way I learned to react to things was with these. So when I learned to stop reacting with these and to think about it and sit still, I move gracefully. And some people do not like that. Okay. Some people want you to get out of character. Some people just feed off, negativity. But I'm learning that your silence will bother someone's spirit more than your mouth and your loudness. When you instantly get out of character for somebody, they have now gained access and control over you. And I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, but I don't like nobody to feel like to have that satisfaction that they have power over me. Ever. So no, ma'am. I will sit on it, because my silence will literally speak louder than my words. And people will sense it. And when you think they ain't feeling no way, those silence is boiling their spirit. And sometimes your silence is so loud that they'll say something to you because they notice your silence. Hey, your silence can be so loud that they can hear it, and they'll say something to you because they know that their guilty conscience is eating them up. It's eating them up. It's tearing them apart because God is handling it for you. And I learned, that's more powerful than being all loud and want to fight, da, 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 da. Because now they feel like they got something over you. They feel like they got that power over you. But once you sit and you just be like, yeah, let people talk. Let people do what they do. And you just let it go like this and you just be quiet. Your silence gonna break mouths. Your silence is gonna break spirits. Your silence is going to break it down. Your silence is going to be so loud. Be silent until God tells you to use your mouth. You be quiet. Okay. And I thank God that He has allowed me to understand that now, because back then, like I said, silent, who being silent? But like I said, the power that people have over you when you react, especially physical. Don't let nobody get physical power over you. You be quiet. Your silence will eat somebody up so bad. If you start to question anything, seek prayer. Pray to God, ask God, go on a fast. You don't need to think too soon. There's been times where I wanted to make sure I wasn't overthinking, and if I had just had my discernment spirit on the right path and not overthinking, like I just needed to make sure which one it was. Where I would sit on something and ask God for that alignment. Overthinking saved me from a lot, okay? Overthinking has been, we're just going to say overthinking, but my discernment spirit and overall has saved me from a lot. It saved me from poor mindsets. And when I say poor mindsets, I mean people that think poorly. And this can be just anything. I feel like that is not for me. I feel like God is telling me that this is not for me. I remember one time being out in like a club, and I was out in the club, and I feel like it was a time where everybody was drunk and I wasn't. I'm just like, oh, this ain't for me. This really ain't for me. This really is not for me. And I'll be sitting here wrong. And if I say I don't still drink, I still drink. But I don't drink as how I used to when I was my early 20s. Like, girl, 20, 21. I know I said 20. Yeah, 2021, I was drinking. Okay. And then I stopped. And then when I realized, when I was in a setting with a whole bunch of people that was drinking and drunks, I realized that this ain't what I want, you know. And I feel like that's a poor mindset of always being drunk. It really is. I can't. There was a time where I used to smoke weed. Yeah, Tati used to smoke weed. And I realized that people that smoke every day, that can't live without smoking, that's a poor mindset. You can't function without smoking. And I used to be one of those. And then I stopped and I realized how clear and open my mind was. That's a poor mindset. I can't be around those type of things. And sometimes you have to overcome things like that on your own. And people around you that are influencing it cannot be around you when you're trying to overcome it. And I learned that I can't be around poor mindsets. So I feel like there was times where God wanted me to be around people that had it worse than me to see what I can result in. And my discernment spirit told me, you need to stop. Otherwise, you're going to be like them. And I strongly feel like that's why God placed certain people in my life for certain things, because you don't want to end up like that at all. Speaking from adulthood, okay, we're just going to speak from adulthood. Adult friendships. I realized that some of my friends envied me. Some of my friends only wanted to see me do good, but not so good. Some of my friends didn't want to see me do good at all. They wanted to keep me at a certain level where they didn't even have jobs. They weren't even doing anything but partying, clubbing, and popping pills and all types of stuff. Some of them only wanted to do sexual things and, go out and being, and didn't serve me no purpose. And it was just like, no. Some of them didn't want to see me be successful. And I realized that I had friendships that just envied me and felt like, and there was a time where I felt like when I didn't want to do these type of things anymore, and I didn't want to be this type of way anymore, and those friends and those people that I was around, they start to be like, oh, you think you better than us. Oh, when they start saying that, girl, it's time to go. When the room start feeling like you suffocating in it and you can't do what you want to do anymore, and you don't want to, not even do what you want to do anymore. If the room starts feeling like you're suffocating in it because you are trying to change on a good league, you need to get out the room. I'm going to say this again. When the room starts feeling like you're suffocating in it because you are changing for the good, you need to leave that room, because that room serves you no purpose anymore. You're dying in that environment. The old you that you used to be, that these people know you as, has died in that room. You have to leave. You can no longer surround yourself around these people, because this is what they hold on to. This is what they know you for. And this is what they still currently do. You cannot be out of the influence when you're in the influence. You cannot move forward if you're still in the influence. The influence is all around you and you're trying to move ahead and get to this higher stature. And it's not even that I feel like I'm better than you. I want better for me. I want the best for you too. You should want to come up here with me. But some people cannot reach. Some people can't go up that ladder because they don't want to go up that ladder. Some people don't want to go up that ladder because they're scared. Some people don't want to go off that ladder because they have demonic demons on them, attached to them. They got so much issues that they scared to even go up that ladder. But because you did, they fear you. And not only do they fear you, they understand that, oh, she can do it, but I can't. Now it's envy. Now it's jealousy. Now it's all these things. Now they feel like you are better. You think you're better than them. The whole time you want best for them, but they don't want. They too scared to get up there with you. They too scared. And when you start realizing that some people just rather be where they're at, I gotta move on from you because I don't want to just be there. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be, in this environment anymore that served me no purpose. And you should not want to be either. But that's how you have to move on for situation. Unfortunately, that's why a lot of people have to leave people behind because you do not want change. You are stagnant. You want to be there. You don't want to get ahead. You don't want to move forward. Hey, let's say it like this. Some people ain't meant to get on that elevator with you. Some people need to go up some stairs, a few flights of stairs. Some people, yeah, you can go up that elevator, but some people need to go up flights of stairs because God got some character development for them. You don't need all that. You already went through what you went through. God already told you this is where you gonna go, and God said this is where they gonna go too, but they got to go up these stairs first. They got to go. You see what I'm saying? It saved me where I'm at now. It definitely saved me because I could still be in it if I wanted to, and it definitely saved me from just holding on to that bad relationship that I was in. The quicker you catch on, I will say this, the quicker you catch on to your discernment spirit and what they are, that means you are closer. You have a stronger alignment with God. That means you're closer with God. When you catch on too slowly and you start having to, catch on to this and catch on to that, and it takes time for you to catch on, your alignment with God is not that close. You should be able to catch on to things and take it for what it is at an earlier time frame when you are in alignment with God. Because when it takes, 2 years like me, I hate to say it, but I wasn't as strong with God. I was with God. I was walking with God, but I wasn't walking with God. I didn't have that strong faith. I didn't, because if I had that strong faith, I would have been let that man alone. If you really truly felt like God was the core center, if you was with the toxic man like I was, you would have had so much faith that God was going to make a way and he was going to remove that man and he was going to make you not feel alone and he was going to make you be okay. He was going to bless you with these things. And if you had that alignment with God, like you said you do, you will understand that it all works out. It all works out. It all works out. But unfortunately, it took me 2 years to realize that. And some people, it's taking them longer. So you want to understand that God is literally trying to help you. You just got to want to help yourself. So with that being said, this was a nice little segment, y'all. I really enjoyed this segment. I feel like I can go on and on and on about this because I love talking about this. It can be used in so many different ways. These were just my experiences and things that I have went through and my point of views of it. But closing out, I want to say this, that people are intimidated and people are scared of your gift, that don't understand your gift, and especially if they do not have alignment with God. You have to protect your gift. You have to understand that people will manipulate you thinking that you're overthinking, that you're wrong, that you're always trying to have a problem or issue with something. And sometimes you're not. And there might be times where, and I'm not going to say there's times where they are not, right. But that's where you come and ask God for clarification. And you ask him, is this what it is? Is this what I'm, feeling correct? Or am I wrong about this situation? Am I right? And you ask for that clarity. And you just protect your gift, protect it. I can't stress this enough. Protect your gift. Do not allow the enemy, and even if you don't think they're an enemy, do not allow everyone to know your gift. Do not allow people to understand that you have people figured out, because it has really cost me. And I feel like people played with me even more and manipulated me even harder when they realized that I can read through people. Because even though they flesh might not understand my gift, their spirits that they carry that are deep and dark definitely understands your gift. So protect your gift, ladies. And if you are an overthinker, always ask God first for that alignment first, and ask him to help you understand things and help you to understand people. And if you are right, you're right, and how to handle it. And if you are wrong, how to handle it as well. Give yourself time to react to certain things. Don't just react out of anger. Silence will always be louder than your voice speaking out of turn. Sit on things. Don't allow your discernment spirit to not resonate with you, to where you're literally just ignoring it and thinking that you're overthinking, because it will cost you. It cost me 2 years out of my life dealing with a toxic man. Do not let it cost you. Okay. And I'm going to close this segment out by saying I love all of y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. And I'll catch y'all on Wednesday, actually, because we're going to be doing Ask Me Anyways. If you haven't already, submit your questions. Submit your questions. Next topic, okay? Next topic is going to be real juicy. Next topic is going to be real juicy. It is going to be friend or enemies. And that is something that I really want us to talk about, because I feel like a lot of females are out here just doing their thing and not really resonating to what's really going on in the friendship environment. I feel like we lose touch into friendships and reality of how we should value it. We value things of, the world or men and stuff like that, but do we really value friendships? So if you have any type of questions, comments, concerns that you want to put on the podcast for next Wednesday's topic, we will be talking about friendships or enemies. And that is going to be very sensitive, being that I've been going through some things, but it needs to be said. So if you're looking to be on the podcast for next week, Wednesday, comment below, or not even comment, go ahead and DM me, or go to that email in the description box and send me what you got to say about that topic. But I love y'all so much. Let us get to 200 subscribers and celebrate. Okay, we're finna get to 200 subscribers. I love all of y'all, and I catch y'all in my next episode. Mwah.